What's up, Quadcopter fans? HungerDrone.com. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a video, show how to fix one of the bullet connectors on a Sunny Sky motor. So just to show you right here, this is one of my Sunny Sky motors. Sometimes they'll come just with the wires and they have to be soldered to the ESCs. In this case, they came with bullet connectors, and I believe this was on the motor motor arm that I wrecked, which broke off in half. And what happened is that this bullet connector came off connected. So as a result, whenever I try to put a propeller on here, turn the motor on, if I just try to stick this in here without soldering it, it doesn't get full power and the motor will not spin with the propeller on. It'll spin without it, but if I put my hand on it, it stops it dead in its tracks. So when you look at this, you'll notice that it's hollow inside almost, and there's some gunk in there, and that's actually the solder. And then here's the cable right here. So what we're going to need to do is we're actually going to need to solder this into the bullet connector. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the motor off, and I'm going to have to cut the zip tie here, and then we're going to heat this up, drop some new solder in there, put the wire in, and then I don't personally have any heat shrink, it's on the way, but we'll put the old heat shrink on, and we'll use a little bit of electrical tape to hold it there, and hopefully that will hold it and fix the issue. So I've got my helping hand here ready to rumble. The soldering iron's getting hot, so in the meantime I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the motor off, and then we'll come back and try to fix this thing.
Okay, so now I have the bullet connector in my helping hand, and what I'm going to do now is attempt to heat up the solder, the old solder that's already in there. We'll see if this will get hot enough. Doesn't look like I'm making any headway. My soldering iron's pretty hot, and I'm hoping to get this thing to liquefy. It's not sticking. So let me grab some solder of my own and go ahead and possibly get this started or fill in the hole. Not quite sure. So very tiny. I'm working with a little bit tough to see. So like I was saying, is that this soldering iron, the tip isn't really working that great on it. Kind of cut it down quite a bit with an X-Acto knife, so that way I could get a sharp, good heated point. So I'm just going to go ahead and melt this solder here. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing from a soldering standpoint, so I'm just trying to fill this hole in here. Then I'm going to go ahead and melt the rest of the solder back into the bullet connector that I just put in there. As you can see, this solder keeps on balling up. I might need to go out and purchase some new solder, possibly a larger size, so then that way I won't keep having this issue, because it appears that more of the wires that I'm dealing with right now are bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this solder in here, soldering iron, and I'm going to attempt to try to liquefy this. So I'm going to get the wire here, so in case it does liquefy, then I can just go ahead and jam that in there and hopefully have a quick fix. So this is not connecting as it is right now, which is causing one of the motors not to work correctly. So I know my big hand's in the way here, but I need to see. So I got it somewhat liquefied, and it's starting to kind of boil up, and I got my wire in there. Appears that it's going to stick, and so it is sticking, as you can see. So I'm going to leave it leave it be, very gentle with it, and there you go. The wire is now soldered into the bullet connector. Go ahead and set this motor down and just leave this be for a minute. I'm sure this thing's probably pretty hot with the amount of solder that, yep, definitely hot. So I'm going to let it cool down, but this is my attempt, and it looks like a way to fix one of these bullet connectors if they do come undone, and get your wire back in there, you know, soldering it in. This heat shrink, I don't have any additional heat shrink, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to throw it back on here, toss some duct tape onto it, or I'm sorry, electrical tape, and heat that up and try to get it to stick. So bear with me 1 second. And I did order some heat shrink, I just don't have any on me, so I have to try to use this method here. Alright, so that's on, so now I'm going to try to duct tape it, heat it up, and get a good seal on it. So this video helped you out in any way as far as being able to resolder one of your bullet connectors from your motors. This is a Sunny Sky motor. Definitely leave a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.